Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Desert Underground podcast. I'm El Dano, and with me is Mr. Brian Holm filling in.
Well, hello.
And today's special guest, mentioned from last podcast, Mr. Sandy Redding.
Hi.
Also our number one listener, top fan, super fan, Sandy. Glad you're here.
But you can't tell now that I'm not on SoundCloud.
Right. And you brought some rum.
I did.
This episode brought to you by Sailor Jerry.
Oh, God. Please give me money. So, Sandy is a little bit of a cinephile snob. Give a little bit of his background there, Brian.
Well, yeah, after his master's degree in film at NYU, Sandy spent, I think, upwards of 15 years as a understudy to Roger Ebert in Hollywood, in the film critic business. And he is also the innovator and the originator of the original meh scale of how to rate movies. Tell us a little bit about that, Sandy.
That whole first part was bullshit.
It sounded so good, though.
It sounded like a
did.
resume kind of thing.
I mean, when you said it on the podcast,
First, he studied at Juilliard.
Right.
and then Dane believed it.
I did, yeah, for the whole week.
It's all in the delivery. If you just kind of lay it out there and then don't mention it again, everyone's like, "Oh man, that guy's got
Don't
a
stutter
resume."
and don't go too overboard.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that. It just kind of cringed and went, "Oh God."
So what is it, Dana? Something about the hot chick knowing she's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you think she's hotter than normal.
You're having a hard time grasping that one,
I
aren't
really
you?
I don't get that.
So a girl is only hot when she doesn't know that she's hot. Because once she knows, then it's kind of ruined. But it's like they're doing the things that are really sexy, but they don't know they're doing them.
Oh, and then when they do it.
Yeah, and then when they realize that, oh, that's the thing, then it's just not sexy anymore.
Well, yeah, it's because it's been weaponized.
See,
I don't agree. I think when they know they're hot and they're like, "Oh yeah, check this out, baby," that doesn't sound like hotter. Maybe it's just me.
It may be.
I mean, have you seen Dave? Right?
I have seen Dave.
Right? Dave. Not
episodes-
another Dave, not Dave Olson. No,
Oh, not. Oh, I was going to say like episode 6.
Shout out, Dave.
So we are here tonight to specifically, more than anything, talk about movies, because Sandy, being the only other person I know that in this town that I really feel a competition with as far as cinephile goes.
I didn't know it was a competition.
It's not. It's we're hot, but we don't know we're hot.
I'm not touching it, man. That's just too easy. Do you have bedazzled jeans by any chance?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Negative, but that's what makes me hot.
Because you don't know. Okay, I get it. Now I'm getting it.
Right.
Okay.
Because if he did, then it wouldn't be hot.
Right.
Okay, so I really, really, really want to talk about the new Netflix Coen Brothers movie that just came out.
Are you sure?
I am absolutely sure. I've been wanting to talk about it for 2 days and kind of had to keep quiet because I wanted to save it for this. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, the new Coen Brothers movie.
I watched it.
You watched it.
I watched it.
Oh, man.
I mean, I will say the intro vignette with Buster was amazing.
Spoiler alerts coming up.
If that was the entire movie, I would have loved it. I thought it was just fantastic.
So a little bit of synopsis. It's mainly Wild West stuff, right?
Yeah. I think it's 6 vignettes.
6
just small mini stories.
All about 10 minutes long-ish.
Yeah, just different scenes and different, I guess just stylings of the Old West or whatever. I loved the intro one. I thought the second one was just bizarre as shit, which is great. And
I'm trying to remember which one was the second.
The pan guy.
Was that the second one?
Yeah, that fat guy from Dodgeball.
James Franco.
And,
right.
I thought it was, yeah. And he's robbing a bank.
Yeah, okay, so that one was good. That one was
and
good.
the guy that wears the pans all over him.
Yeah,
his
that
body
one,
armor.
it was good. That one was nice and short and interesting. The third one then, with the orator guy telling the stories and
yeah, with no arms and legs.
that was bizarre, but crazy cool.
And that was Liam Neeson.
Yeah,
was in
Liam
that
Neeson
one.
was in that. And then
that one was called Meal Ticket.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he realized that the chicken, and he's like, well, that's it. And the kid goes in the river. And it was just like, holy shit.
Oh, yeah. You should have heard my wife was just, he's not going to leave him behind.
Oh, he is. And then the fourth one
Was
had
Tom,
my boy was
Tom
in that
Waits,
one. Yeah.
And he was.
Good night, Mr. Pocket.
I will say Tom Waits was fantastic in that spot, but the story was just.
Story was a little
Yeah.
but
I liked it.
I love Tom, and I just he brings some kind of like truthfulness to this whole
There
thing.
you are, Mr. Pockets.
Yeah, Mr. Pocket.
I don't know. It was bizarre and weird, and when he's standing in the river washing the blood off himself, he didn't hit nothing important. He didn't hit nothing important. That should probably go on the end of the reel tonight.
Right. You see, it only works if you don't say that.
Because I'm hot. Because
Right.
I'm hot. But anyway, after that, man, just bored. I literally could not stay awake. After that, I stayed awake, but it was just boring as shit. After
Right. Yeah. So then there was a story where they're in like a stagecoach.
the wagon train.
I completely zoned out for that one.
It was terrible. There was nothing. What did you think about that?
I turned it off after the one with the miner and then went to bed.
Then you didn't miss anything.
You really didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, after that, it literally went straight downhill.
And I love the Coen Brothers movies. They also did what? Big Lebowski, Fargo. What's that? Did they do the brother one? Oh, brother.
Yes.
Where art thou?
Right.
George Clooney.
Yep.
Well, that was, and John Gibbon. That was actually a really good movie.
Raising Arizona, I think. They did some great movies, but
Wait, so who's the brothers that did The Matrix?
not the Coen Brothers.
Wachowski.
The Wachowski brothers.
Wachowski.
Okay.
Yeah.
Random.
No, it's Sandy Pohl, because he had it.
That is good.
Put that on the cinephile checklist, because you just got faced.
Ooh.
I like the beginning of Buster Scruggs because it was the first one where they had the whole feel almost cartoonish, like Raising Arizona.
Yeah.
It was like that. And they haven't done another movie like that where it's edgy, cartoonish, weird,
Yeah, and that one kept my interest the most.
Oh, it was great, man. He shot the guy's fingers off one at a time, and then behind his back shoots the guy through the forehead. And then when he got shot by the anti-Buster, whoever that guy was in the black, he takes his hat off and he's looking at the hole in it, and he's like, "Whale."
You just got shot in the old noggin there, Buster.
Yeah. So my take, I would say first half of the movie 8.5 or 9. Second half of the movie like a 2.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to rate it by vignette.
I agree.
Because some of them are great. I mean, I wish they had kind of, tied the lower ones in between the really good ones. That way, it felt like a good movie most of the way through.
No, you know what I felt like? I felt like if they would have done the same, even with the same format they had with those stories, if they had done little like interspersed some clips of Buster. Between them,
or had him talking over or something.
Yeah, like even a 2-minute little thing, just like, here we are, America,
Well, looks like the miner's in trouble.
Exactly. Something to make it, just to tie that all, because it was...
He was very Don Knotts-ish, I thought. He just reminded me kind of that whole shtick that he used to do.
Yeah, he was, I don't even know who that guy was, but he was convincing as hell. He
Yeah.
was good.
That was the same guy. He was in Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
Oh, you're right.
The one who thought he was the toad? Frog? What?
He was the third.
Yeah.
Yes. That's not the same guy that was in Raising Arizona, too, is it?
You never know with the Coen brothers.
I'm trying to remember.
Wow. This is
Because you had John Goodman, and then...
Yeah, and you had the crazy biker guy, and you had
Right.
his partner, maybe the same guy.
No, his partner was somebody else.
We should ask Google.
We should. All right, so you're giving the movie mostly a 9 and then a 2 at the end.
But the first half was really good. I mean, really intriguing, really exciting, real captivating. Second half, I was like, God, this is terrible. Even when he was fighting the Indians, and I was just, it's just bad. I don't know what happened. It just like the whole thing fell off a cliff, and we're supposed to be impressed by their movie making skills or something. I didn't.
I think the problem though with having separate vignettes is they're all their own story. They're not connected at all. You could turn it off at any time, and what if you missed? Or pick it up again and go, I'm going to watch episode 5 and you missed 3 and 4. Does it matter? No.
Well, okay, so that's a question for you then. You only watched the first half. Where do you rate it? Do you give it a
It was
5,
the
a
first
6,
one was good. The other ones were kind of dull. I mean, the one with James Franco was like, yeah, okay. And then I liked the bit with the miner, but that comes back to, Tom Waits' night at Scott's, where it's like, I just like his voice. Whenever he was singing, I'm just sitting there going, man, he's so awesome.
Indeed. Take that, Brian.
Well, there's two people who have no fucking idea what music is.
So Buster Scruggs, I would say watch it once and then never watch the last 2 vignettes again.
I think I would agree with you. It's definitely not a keeper.
I'd say skip it altogether or watch the first one with Buster Scruggs and then forget all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would totally say that's a good way to go. You won't be disappointed at all that way.
Because the bit with the meal ticket's kind of dark.
Yeah, I liked that one. I thought it was good. It was entertaining, and I did not see that coming. All of a sudden, he throws that rock in the river, and I was like, holy shit. Poor guy.
As soon as he had the chicken, I knew it was over. As soon as he saw him, it's like, yeah, this thing he's going to pay him feed, and he doesn't have to worry about taking care of him.
I think if we would have had the guy, the what do you even call it, a quadro?
So he was missing his arms and his legs.
Yeah, so whatever you call that. If they would have had that
Torso
guy,
boy.
If Torso Boy would have said, "Daddy, no," it would have been perfect.
Oh, that's really dark.
Yeah, I don't know about
like, Daddy, no, splash.
Good Lord.
But just leaving it to your imagination. That's what I heard. So I don't know about you guys. But.
All right, so that was assuming most of these people had watched it. I know there's some out there that didn't. So I'm going to move it on a little bit. I would say Buster Scruggs. I give it like a half a thumb up.
Yeah, meh.
Yeah.
How many
Skip
mehs?
it.
How many mehs does that?
That's a
rate?
big meh.
It's just one meh.
It's a big meh.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't put effort into extra meh.
So it's like a 5 meh.
Oh no, it's
on
probably
a 0 to 10 scale. How many? Mehs?
2 or 3.
So
Lots of promise, and didn't come through.
Right. And so, and they're banking on their name a lot of that too. They know people are going to watch Coen Brother movies.
But when was
Burn
the last
After
time
Reading
you
they
saw?
did as well too.
But when was the last time you saw a movie like that had multiple stories that actually do it well?
God, I saw one, but I think they all interlaced at the end.
Yeah, I want to say, and it's on my list for the top 10. My movies that with multiple stories interlaced is Pulp Fiction, obviously.
Yeah,
it's just probably the best, right?
Yeah, but that wasn't really trying to be separate with something, some obvious thread.
Meaning,
I remember remember the ones like Stephen King had. What was that one? Cat's Paw or
Cat's Eye.
Cat's Eye. And then there was another one they used to have on television when you had like the Mystery Hour, and they'd have the 3 different stories. I mean, that's what this seemed
the
like.
Trilogy of Terror.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I remember that
with Karen Black.
Yeah,
and the little tribal guys.
yeah, with the wooden spears.
Oh yeah.
I am not familiar with this.
Oh, you should watch it. It's a classic.
It was on
where?
TV. It was a TV movie called Trilogy of Terror.
Fantastic.
I'm guessing Hulu is probably your best bet for that. It was great though. It was a classic.
It had to be 70s.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably 74, 75.
But yeah, I mean, other movies that do that with the separate stories. I mean, Pulp Fiction is probably the one that sticks out to me, just because it's such a great fucking movie. I mean, everything
insanely
about
well
was
done.
great. Yeah, I mean, it was all the stories intertwined. It right. Shit. We'll get back to that.
4 Rooms would be mine.
Okay.
About separate stories that all come together.
That was
Also a
good.
Tarantino film.
Yeah, that was good.
He gets off his finger at the end. Have you seen that one, Sandy?
I have. It's been a while.
Yeah, been a long time. I haven't seen it in a while.
Isn't it the one? That's the one where he talks about Top Gun being about homosexuals.
I don't think it's in that one.
It's another one then
Yeah.
that he was in.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It might have been Four Rooms.
So, moving on, we have a top 10 list that we're going to roll through. I asked everybody to do 10 of their 10 favorite movies.
So before you get into that, I was thinking, I was thinking about we have recently some movies come out. Does anybody want to speak on anything they've seen lately? We kind of dove into Bohemian Rhapsody last week, but are there any other recent up-to-date movies other than our top 10 list?
There's some that I want to see.
Such as?
There's a new Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly movie coming out.
Oh, good God, what?
It's where he plays Sherlock Holmes and Watson.
Oh, God, I am so in.
And it's basically the Step Brothers vibe. But
so,
but you know, it's a mystery.
The movies those guys have done together, Talladega Nights, just amazing. Step Brothers, and probably my favorite. We talked about this earlier. Walk the Line or Walk Hard.
Walk Hard.
Walk
and
Hard.
Technically, Anchorman John C. Reilly shows up in the second one,
but Walk Hard was just amazing. I mean, that movie was
fantastic. If you're gonna,
you ever seen it?
Maybe.
If you're a fan of Walk the Line, you're gonna love Walk Hard. It's basically a shorter version and funnier.
What? Oh, much wrong kid died.
there's a scene. So basically, it's just making
wait a
fun
minute.
of.
Was Walk the Line funny?
No.
No, but Walk Hard was amazing.
So Walk Hard is a parody of Walk the Line. It's got John C. Reilly as the Johnny Cash type character.
It's Dewey Cox.
It's funny because Tim Meadows, one of my favorite actors that a lot of people don't really think about a lot. He shows up as the guy who's going to. He's always the guy in the band that's got the drugs.
Yeah,
who introduces Dewey to the drugs.
He was the manager, right? He was his manager.
No, he was the bass player or piano player or something. And he's like, well, "What are you guys doing in here?
You don't want none of this, Dewey.
You don't want no part of this shit." It takes all your bad feelings and turns them into good feelings. You don't want no part of that, Dewey. Get out of here.
I don't know. That sounds pretty good.
That sounds pretty good. And they do it with pot and acid and cocaine and at the end Viagra when they're older. Oh God.
Yeah. Great movie.
Tim Meadows, man. I'm gonna start my 10 list with The Ladies' Man.
Really?
Tim Meadows, one of my favorite movies. I never don't want to watch it.
Oh, that's so horrible.
Wow.
Also has Will Ferrell in it.
Okay, look, I there's not a Will Ferrell movie on my top 10 list. Apparently, I went with movies I actually really like. I mean, I loved all of the comedies.
So the problem,
I should have done it by genre, but I did. I just was like, okay, I could come up with 10 really great comedies, and Anchorman would obviously be in there. But I was like, just 10 of my favorite all-time movies.
Okay.
And how did you get to Ladies' Man?
How?
Even if you went comedies.
I was a huge fan of Saturday Night Live growing up. My mom always recorded it for me when I was a little kid, so I could watch it the next morning. Dip, 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 dip. And so it was during the Adam Sandler, Rob Schneider era,
right?
You know, and Kevin Nealon, and Tim Meadows.
Turkey for me.
It is almost Thanksgiving. That's gonna do the Thanksgiving song.
The big brown shoe. Sorry.
God, I love those Adam Sandler songs, man.
Sorry, I've had.
Actually, you know, he's got a Netflix special out right now,
and I heard that is really good.
Okay, so I watched it yesterday.
In fact, your son was telling me that it was worth watching.
Yeah, I watched about 10 minutes of it and turned it off.
Yeah, so I grew up. I had all of his albums, which were way worse than people knew how he was, like comedy wise.
I trim my bush.
Well, it started. It's
sorry.
I've got a secret. So, it started out where like he was in like Billy Madison and
it was like Adam Sandler's heyday there with Happy Gilmore,
right? And people thought that was the worst, but they clearly never listened to his CDs that he put out, where they talked about there was like a cult, there was the Goat, all these songs. That was all off of What the Hell Happened to Me. Before that, it was even worse when
They're all gonna laugh
They're
at
All
you.
Gonna Laugh at You was the first album, and he was horrible. Like I am surprised my dad let me listen to that shit because it was bad. And I'm talking about like everything in it was just.
Did you guys just hear that?
It got quiet.
Yeah, the air conditioner turned off.
Oh,
Shut
that's
up.
what that was. I was trying to figure out what the hell that sound was.
Just roll with the punches, man.
I'm here.
Roll with the punches.
I'm sorry, buddy.
So our studio air conditioner
dip,
just,
dip.
just turned off and it freaked everybody out.
Yeah, air
And by
conditioner.
studio,
It's November 20th. Air conditioning.
Fat guys sweat. Man. Come on, give me a break. This house is really warm right now.
Yeah. Think of those poor
Yeah,
fuckers
let's
in
drink
New
the
York.
nice, cold, icy rummage.
Which isn't bad.
Really, I'm glad you like it. We have a little Sailor Jerry and Coke Zero, and you have Diet Coke or Coke.
Yeah, regular. Dip, 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 dip.
Okay,
And
so
if any of you guys out there do not know what the hell that actually means, then you're
not an Adam Sandler fan,
yeah, or you're just out of touch, man.
or
Dip,
you're
dip, dip.
or you're 12.
That's true. I'm a little older than.
Big shout out to all our 12-year-old listeners out there. I hope you're wildly entertained by all this wonderful catching up. So I did watch
and
the
I
Netflix
really
special.
hope your parents don't
No,
know
so
you're
go-
listening.
Tell me, what is it, Ladies Man? How did that make your list?
Well, hold on. Let me finish this Netflix special thing because it is a current thing that just got released
Okay.
this week. There's a lot of songs in it. They're not whole songs, most of them. They're just little like 10, 20-second little songs.
The Hanukkah song.
Nah, not even that. And
Really?
it's just like he makes up these little. It's almost like a limerick, to music. And then he tells like a decent joke in the middle, and then he does another one, and it cuts between like 7 shows, and it just keeps going through and through, and it's just confusing more than anything. It's not as funny as I was hoping.
Really?
It's obviously you're never going to get old Sandler like he was. It's funnier than I thought it was going to be. Based off of the last 4 or 5 movies that he's done, I was like, oh, he's gone. He lost the comedy edge.
Yeah.
He still has some of it. So I'll give him that. But the jokes were really predictable, and they were just kind of like, eh.
And he's changing venues in the joke, so it's not like move from one spot to another to another to another bit. It's the same bit, and he's moving from venue to venue, and it's getting hard to just track.
Okay. Well, I mean, guys that do, you're a comedian, you're on tour, you're telling the same jokes night after night in different cities,
Yeah, we get that, but typically, I mean, when you go to a comedy store, it doesn't feel like that. Rarely do you think about how many other places has he done it this week.
So a lot of times
I
what they
think
do is
you have a point.
a lot of
That's fair.
times when they do a comedy special, they'll do 2, maybe 3 shows wearing the same clothes. And so it has that same feel throughout, when they cut the jokes, because some jokes work better that night or because you say a certain word or whatever.
I never noticed that.
Yeah. So they cut it a
I
lot of
believe
times.
it.
And a lot of times with comedy albums, that's what they'll do. And a lot of live albums, that's what they'll do for bands. They'll just record 2, 3 nights in a row and then do the best ones all together, hand the crowd how they want.
So you lost me. We're staying with the Adam Sandler thing because you were going to tell me about Tim Meadows, and now I don't know even where
We're
the fuck
allowed
we're at.
to. It's my fucking podcast.
Well,
I can
I
say
know,
whatever
but
the hell I
fucking get
want.
back to the point. Where are you going? He's the Ladies Man. How did
Okay,
you get
so-
that as a favorite movie?
Tim Meadows, who was on, what was that Zorn show? Son of Zorn. Did you see that show? It was maybe 2-3 years ago. Not super well liked. Jason Sudeikis was in it. Anyway, Tim Meadows was in
Huge
that.
Tim Meadows fan. I like him. I think he's great.
Okay.
I loved him on Saturday Night Live.
How did I get to this? He used to do the Ladies Man a lot on Saturday Night Live,
Right.
and I used to see that when I was a kid, thinking like, this is hilarious, super, chauvinistic and misogynistic and awful, but funny.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Right?
And the movie wasn't bad.
And so coming around to that movie. Okay, you want to know the real reason? There's 2.
Did you actually like American Gigolo or Deuce Bigelow too? Is that
Oh,
on
God.
that
Not
list?
bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, how many of the
Hold on.
movies that
Hold on,
came out of
before I
SNL
lose it,
were
before I
actually
lose it, I gotta
worth
say
the
this.
shit?
the 2 reasons, and all right, 3 reasons. So the 3 reasons I like the Ladies Man so much, 2 of them have nothing to do with Tim Meadows. So the first reason is Tim Meadows has a direct line to my funny bone, and I don't know why. And it's just anything he does or says cracks me up, and I
Okay.
can't stop laughing at him because I think of all his stupid sketches. He was always just super funny. Secondly, Billy D. Williams is in it
All right. there you
as the
go.
bartender and narrator.
Billy D. Williams is pretty.
And
He's
lastly,
pretty damn cool, Dane.
welcome to the cool side of the pillow.
Right.
And lastly, I love Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Good God, I love her. I hope she's listening.
Oh,
I love
God.
you. And she's wearing like a teddy in it, and she has all this money.
Because you watched
It's
Saved by the
just-
Bell
oh,
as
God,
a
it was
kid.
hot.
So
I
all right,
did.
All right. So full
But also,
disclosure.
she was hot. She was also in a movie called Love Stinks, and I was just like, she's hot in that too.
Full disclosure. There's a scene in Happy Gilmore where the blonde chick's got like a pitcher of beer in each hand
Bridget Wilson.
and the negligee running through the golf course.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And grandma's throwing money up there. I don't know. It worked for me.
Yep. And pause there.
All right. So
Who was yours, Sandy, the other day? Was it Mia Farrow or something?
Mia Farrow.
Who was it? There was somebody the other day. You and someone else were saying like, "Oh man,
I
Wasn't-
don't
you're not
even
talking to me.
remember. You sure I was there?
no, maybe not." All right, let's move on.
All right,
Tiffany
wait,
Amber,
so-
Tiffany Amber Thiessen, boner alert. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so that was your number 10? Was
Yeah, I'll put
the
that at
latest
10.
one?
Yep,
All right,
Well, I
my
didn't
number
rank
10.
any of them.
I didn't really rank mine either, but I'm going to go ahead and rank them.
mine
now.
aren't ranked. I'm just naming movies I love.
So
It's
on-
way too hard for me to pick a top.
I'm going to
What?
rank my number 10, Silence of the Lambs.
Okay, are you including all the sequels and prequels with that?
Nope, I am just the movie with Jodie Foster.
How'd you feel about the prequels and sequels?
the original? I think it was called Manhunter.
yeah,
Way back.
it was a Michael Mann movie.
Yeah, great. I loved it. Didn't
with,
like it as much as the
William Peterson.
Yeah, I didn't like it as much as I liked the actual Silence of the Lambs movie. Jodie Foster was fucking amazing in it.
Mhm.
Not a huge fan of her normally.
Hello, Clarice.
And Anthony Hopkins, I mean, he just
I know, man.
crushed that role.
He owned that shit.
And,
Nobody could do it like he did.
Scott Glenn played the FBI guy. Fantastic. Everything about it, just the vibe they had, and they had like they were playing that Tom Petty song "American Girl" while he snatched her and thrown her. And it was just they had that. I mean, I guess this is why the movie was just so good. It wasn't. It was just everything about it. I thought it was fucking creepy. You know, from the moths in his apartment to the. You know,
So that okay.
it rubs the lotion on its skin.
So what confuses me about that movie is there's like that's two separate stories, right? But he's helping them catch what's his name, Buffalo Bill or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but the problem that I had is it was like there was all this stuff that Anthony Hopkins was doing, and all this stuff that she a great big fat person.
No, Sandy does that really well. Go ahead.
Big fat girl.
She big fat girl.
There it is.
I used to have that as my notifications to somebody.
I actually believe that from you. I believe that.
Oh, but great movie.
Yeah,
Absolutely loved it.
On my top, that'll be 10. I have others, but I just going
Now,
off that list.
if I
In fact,
could-
I think I have like 13 on my top 10.
If I could
list, so-
caveat real quick to the second one, is that Red Dragon, or was that?
I didn't. I tried both of the sequels and
Red
just
Dragon
couldn't.
wasn't that a remake of Manhunter?
Well, I don't know which one it is. I just know Gary Oldman plays the guy without the face,
Yeah,
and he does a great creep factor job in that. And I love Gary Oldman as an actor.
I
think he's
remember
amazing.
watching them both, and I didn't. I just yeah. So Gary Oldman. Let's to another movie on my top 10 list.
Ooh.
I will just
Yeah,
transition.
go on.
We call this a segue.
Sure. I love riding those.
He plays the pimp in True Romance.
Yes,
And just crushed it. Is this white boy there? He must think it's white boy there.
He's white.
Just awesome. Drexel, wasn't it?
Drexel, yeah.
Drexel the pimp.
Now god, we talked
True
about it.
Romance.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's actually on my
True
list.
Romance was a great movie. I only recently discovered it.
Which is bizarre. I would have thought that.
My dad had it. He's like, "Oh, I saw Christian Slater on there and
Yeah.
bought it, but I've never watched it."
Yeah, and for you guys out there listening, don't turn off the thought of watching it just because Christian Slater. He was fucking fantastic in
That
it.
makes me want to watch movies. Honestly, I love Christian Slater.
Dennis Hopper was fantastic. Gary Oldman was fantastic. Chaz Palminteri was fantastic. What was her name?
Trisha Arquette.
Patricia Arquette was great in it.
Sam Jackson's in it. Brad Pitt's in it.
Brad Pitt had one of the greatest roles in movie history in that movie. Can you bring back some cleaning supplies?
You got to see Johnny Suede with him in it, man.
Yeah. And
you'll hate it.
Who's the guy? Michael Rappaport.
Yes.
Was great at it. And Bronson Pinchot was in it.
Did you mention
It was a fantastic movie.
Walken?
Yeah, Christopher Walken was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fucking fantastic.
And Michael Madsen.
When he talks,
No.
When he talks about how
No, the guy
all
in,
Italians are black.
Yeah.
James Gandolfini.
Yeah, God, he was great in that too.
Yeah.
There are just so many great actors in that. Great story and just well directed, well pulled out. Just fantastic. True romance.
Well played, yeah.
2 thumbs up in this reviewer's book.
Definitely. Keep on cruising, man. What else you got?
Let's go to Sandy. He's next on the list.
Well, I won't go with the best one, but
Can you segue from True Romance to this?
I can, because we're talking about Gary Oldman.
Broken Arrow.
And if we're
it's the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever it is.
because if we're gonna go Gary Oldman, then
Ooh, we
we
were
have
just
to
talking
go
about it.
Fifth Element.
Fifth Element. Okay. Zed? Is that who he plays in that?
Zorg.
Yeah. Zorg? I knew it was a Z.
Zorg.
Oh, Zed's from Pulp Fiction. Zed's dead, baby.
Zed's dead, baby.
Yeah, Zorg.
I
Really? That's one of your favorites?
I hate
Oh
it.
yeah, I'll watch it whenever it's on.
I don't hate the movie, and it's got great symbolism in it, and Bruce Willis is kicking ass like usual.
I hate it.
Who's that guy? Chris
Fifth
Tucker
Element.
is in it. He annoys the crap out of me.
Ruby Rod, which yeah.
Yeah. The girl is really good, but that's because her body looks great.
It's just really hot.
I mean, I'll be
much.
honest. I don't know anything about her.
She's wearing
besides
like
that.
bandages or something. It was like pretty much her whole costume.
The
so.
movie, it feels like the story was really good, but I felt like it was almost like comic booky, and maybe that was the intent. I'm sure it probably was, but it just was kind of off at times.
I think part of it's, I mean, it was unexpected. I mean, you hear science fiction, this is not what you expect. It was almost like a cartoon.
It was not a bad one.
All right, I'm going to segue again. Check this out. How we're doing this.
Are we coming off of Gary Oldman?
We're coming off of Fifth Element straight into another Bruce Willis classic on my list, Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay.
It's just a great fucking movie. That's all I can say about it. Everything about it was entertaining and exciting and fun.
I don't like the first one as much, and it's probably my age. The first one came out when I was real young. I'm assuming was it like '86 or something?
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
When did the first one come out?
I mean, I really don't know.
It had to have been around then, right?
80.
If it was in the '80s, I was 7 or younger, so I probably didn't see it till later on. The first Die Hard, I saw the other ones, but the ones I really remembered was
88.
The Sam Jackson one.
Which was actually not
third
too
one,
bad.
right?
It was actually pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah,
was-
the
it was-
second one was shit.
Yeah.
But the third one
The
was
third
bad.
one was I thought it had super interesting villain guy, and it was like Hans's brother or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert.
Well, and it had that whole element of
Oh my god,
a heist
they
movie
did
too.
blow up the gold.
But I thought that one was entertaining. though.
It's on my list, so I said it. So segue, go from Die Hard to.
Oh God, it's tough if I'm trying to connect the actors.
Just give us your next whatever's next.
No
on
Country for Old Men.
dude, on my list.
Fucking great movie.
Fantastic movie. I can't really tell you all the actors other than Tommy Lee Jones
Oh God, Josh Brolin.
and Brolin. They're the only two I could tell you.
And I forget
Oh,
the weird dude's name.
yes,
Yeah, who was in?
I know it, but I can't remember it right now.
who was amazing. I think he won. Actually,
He was a
won
villain in James Bond movie too.
I think he actually won an Academy Award
That
for
dude's
that.
just a super creeper, man. But he's a great actor, and he's good at what he does. Brolin always crushes it.
That story was just It was just such a cool, tension-filled, nonstop.
It was nice to have something that felt a little off the beaten path. Like there was something to like the weird CO2 thing that he was shooting
Right?
bolts at people or whatever. That was
You know what those are for?
huh.
That's to put
Putting down
cattle
Yeah.
at the slaughterhouse.
Apparently works really well on hotel room door locks as well. Because there was like 2 or 3 different times in that movie that he...
Yeah, he was kicking ass with that thing,
It's
man.
just pneumatic hammer.
Pretty much. But I'll segue that into my all-time favorite movie.
Well, hold on. Let me guess. Hold on. I'm just going to see if I can. Could it be Seven Psychopaths?
Thrashin'.
Oh, Thrashing.
I've never even heard of that one.
It's a really, 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 really shitty early 80s skateboard movie.
So I was attached to it.
Terrible.
It came out when I was 3 or 4.
I mean, like even worse than Gleaming the Cube.
It was
Terrible.
around that same.
It's a little more realistic than Gleaming the Cube, but with
It's
less
basic.
acting.
So
And less Christian Slater.
So
as
if
a
you-
matter of fact.
So if you haven't seen it, it is Josh Brolin and his crew called the Ramp Locals, and they're the preppies in the Valley, right? If you're from California, you know the Valley. And then there was Robert Russler in charge of the rival gang, Hook and the Daggers, and they rule LA, right? Because they're from Santa Monica, Dogtown, baby.
Dogtown, yeah.
Right? And so they're the ones going around wearing all the black clothes and looking cool.
Okay, so
And,
I take it back. It was worse than Gleaming the
And
Cube.
hold on.
No Asian kids.
No, hold on. This is going to blow your mind. You're not going to see this coming. Hook's sister falls in love with Josh Brolin. So, rival conflict.
Oh my god.
It's basically West Side Story with
Yeah.
skateboards.
So
But I got really attached to it as a kid because I was 4 or 5 when it came out, and I love skateboarding, and that was the coolest thing in the world to me. My mom
guess
taped
so.
it off HBO, and I was like, "What?"
so where did you put that on your like 1 to 10 list?
Oh God,
So
I watched that movie almost every day after school for 10 years, maybe.
So
That
this-
was my babysitter growing up.
This is like, what do you want to say?
So,
three or
I'm
four?
putting it.
right
Yeah,
now?
I'm putting it right up there in 3 and 4.
Wow. Okay.
And I realize no one else is gonna give a shit.
Yeah, it's
but
okay. I mean,
it's my
everybody-
favorite movie,
Yeah, I
and
get
you
it.
guys could all go suck it.
Hey, I just said Die Hard was one of mine. Sandy, what do you got? What's on your list?
I couldn't even begin to rank them. That would
What are you
be
doing?
Oh, I know,
Just
right?
give us one. Go get a segue from
Let's see,
thrashing.
away from
Your
thrashing.
choices were Robert Russler. Oh, and then Meatloaf does a song for the soundtrack,
Okay, so you got Meatloaf and Josh Brolin to cue off of,
and Robert
Can you-
Russler
Can you go from that?
because he was in a lot of stuff,
Robert-
not good stuff. Just
I don't
some
even know
stuff.
who he is.
I don't even know who that is.
Sorry.
Neither does he. Just his mom knows. That's pretty much it.
Okay,
No,
let's
he-
just
he was
pretend
in,
that didn't
Crime
happen.
Fears.
We'll circle back to Bruce Willis and we'll go with Pulp Fiction.
Okay. It's probably in my top 3. When we talked about it earlier, there's just nothing wrong with the movie.
Oh,
It's so twisted. It's so interesting. It's so violent. It's so vicious. It's so innovative. It's so curious. It's so exciting, enticing. I can't. There's just a ton of words. The movie was just fucking fantastic. Tarantino's best. That's what I would say. Easily.
great. There's nothing else to say, man. The actors were great. The acting was great. The story was amazing. The dialogue was really good. The cinematically, it was cool.
Oh yeah, the way they
Um,
tied all the stories together was perfect. Everything was.
It's also unexpected. I if anything, I mean the movies that I hate all the time are formula. It's like, yeah, see that coming.
Like Bohemian
See-
Rhapsody.
You saw that movie
Good fair
before.
point.
It was like,
know, or-
eh,
I mean, A Star is Born, even if it wasn't the 4th make of that movie,
right.
it's still, yeah, we've seen this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's.
I would say another thing of Pulp Fiction that really rates for me, at least for as movies go for me, is quotability. And there are so many quotes from Pulp Fiction. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's got a dozen. You could, any one of us right now could just off the cuff, bam. Pulp
What
Fiction quote.
does the drug dealer say when he brings the girl over that's having the attack?
Obviously, give the little black fucking medical book.
I thought
Don't
he
take
said,
those boot butt bitch into my house.
I thought he said, like, does it say bring dead hookers to my house or something?
Oh,
On the
yeah.
door?
No, that's the other guy that does it, but we won't go there because it gets racist.
It
But,
does get a little racist.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
but I mean, there's just so many. When he's on the phone, he's on the phone with Ving Rhames, and he's freaking out, and it's like, oh, that make you feel better now, motherfucker. Oh, shit.
Does
you know,
Marcellus Wallace look like a bitch?
That's all you had to say. Go back in there and chill them. Anyway, so yeah, great pick, Sandy. That one's
Yeah,
Pulp Fiction is.
I'm not going to
that's-
segue shit. I'm
So-
just going to say Seven Psychopaths is a badass movie.
Yeah, nothing. It was okay. I don't know. I thought it was
I think
alright.
I started it and didn't finish it. There were parts I've seen online clips.
If you guys could see Dane's face right now, he looks like someone just peed in his rum and coke.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
So go ahead, tell him why.
Tell him why, because Sam Rockwell is the fucking shit. I love Sam Rockwell.
And
what?
Tom Waits.
Oh, let me get to it, man.
Okay, I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, that's why.
Sam Rockwell is a badass. I don't care what movie he's in. It's always great.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
He was fucking fantastic.
He's in
Quest.
Choke. He's in The Way, Way Back.
Yeah.
He's in, I don't know, other stuff. He was on some show where he was a preacher, I think.
That's another one, though, with Galaxy Quest. Unexpected.
Fantastic movie.
So
Not on my list, but fantastic.
So Seven Psychopaths was for sure one of the top movies that I enjoy watching. Yes, Tom Waits is in it too. Christopher Walken is in it.
Wait, we did this with Dave Wilson. Remember we said we were going to have a walk-in of the week? Sandy, do you have a walk-in impression?
I sure don't.
It's kind of a requirement, isn't it? You have
Is
to do
it?
a walk-in impression?
I mean, Brian said you had to.
Do you got
You
something?
pretty much have to.
You got nothing?
No.
I can't do it.
Your tone,
I
it's all
couldn't.
wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Dane's tone.
Yeah.
All right, so Seven Psychopaths.
Seven Psychopaths.
All right. I will give it another watch just because of your...
Gleaming reviews.
Well, that and your glaring eyes. When I said I hadn't watched it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I saw it a long time ago and I was like, meh.
Dude, at the end, he's like...
I actually gave it a meh.
At the end,
I didn't even know.
At the end, Sandy was wearing a shirt that says "Matt" on it, like a dick.
Yeah, it actually is.
So yeah, at the end of Seven Psychopaths, when they're driving into the desert, and he's like, "This would be a great place for a final shootout."
Okay, that's a cool one.
And then it's then he does the final shootout with a flare gun to a dog's head. It's fucking great, man.
All right, dude.
If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it at least once. And then he does this recollection of how he thinks the final shootout should go, and it's this entire dream sequence of like all of them with Uzis and shit in a cemetery. And
So then when we did this last week's podcast with Amanda, she actually looked it up. It said it was on Amazon right now.
what is
Seven Psychopaths.
cool?
So I will give it a go.
All right,
For your
segue. Another thing that's on Amazon.
Oh, bam, watch this. And I know this just because I just watched this for like the 40th time a couple days ago.
So we should watch it and we'll drink while we're doing it.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is a good point.
Yeah.
So my segue is, God, there's two of them. I could go two ways here. I'm just going to give you them both.
I've heard you do that anyway. Ooh!
Shout out to Dave
Ooh.
Olson. Just kidding, brother. So I'm just going to give you guys both of them, and you can tell me which one you like better. Goodfellas and John Carpenter's The Thing.
The original.
The
80s.
The good one.
The original was
The
black
original,
and white.
the original to me,
The good one.
as
yeah.
a 35-year-old male.
So for me, both top 10 movies. They're both fucking fantastic. I love Goodfellas because I'm a huge De Niro fan. I'm a huge Joe Pesci fan. I'm a huge that whole bunch of Italian guys that they put in all the movies that act the same in all the movies. Loved it. Thought Goodfellas was fantastic. Don't like Ray Liotta, and he was the narrator / star of it.
You want to see a good movie with Ray Liotta?
But
Wild Hogs.
in spite of Ray Liotta, Goodfellas was a fantastic
Tim
movie.
Allen.
It was. And Tim Meadows, right? No, Martin Lawrence.
Come on, that's
Martin
racist,
Lawrence.
man. They don't look
No.
alike to Brian.
Wait, how you gonna do that to me, man?
Eh.
Anyway, Goodfellas, top. It was a great movie.
I like The Thing, but
John Carpenter's The Thing.
So,
Kurt Russell and the old guy who was doing the blood test.
mhm.
That guy, just something about him creeped me out because he was doing the blood test. It was like all tension filled.
oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So what's cool about The Thing is it was super Creepsville, but it was above the other movies at the time's animatronics. It was like, what do they call it? Where they were innovating new animatronic type things that came out in that movie.
Yeah, but would
So
you
when they
say
were-
that? I mean, there wasn't really even anything in that other than the dog with the tentacles thing.
And then there was the
It had to do with
head
a lot.
with the legs walking across the floor.
It had to do a lot with the movement.
Yeah.
The chest that turned into teeth and
And it
bit
had
off the guy's
It had the
arms.
guy's face
Yeah.
that actually looked like a face.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yes,
so,
you're right.
and so that being said, recently I went over to a friend's house and we had a movie night where we watched the '80s version of The Thing and the 2011 version of The Thing.
Which wasn't bad, but
It was
not. It was.
pretty.
It
Well,
wasn't
they
as good as.
so one was a sequel to the other,
Yeah.
and there was like it was cool seeing them so close to each other because guy throws an axe in the first movie, you see the hole there in the second movie, and it was
Right.
really good attention to detail. They also used a lot of animatronics instead of so much CG, which movies in 2011 were really focused on at the
Right.
time. So they went back to the animatronic stuff again, which I thought was really cool.
But, those guys had a huge. I mean, those are big shoes to fill. You're trying.
Oh, of course.
You're trying to remake what is. I mean, accidentally or not, a freaking classic.
I think they did
That
it
movie was
justice,
great.
man. I think they did a good sequel. Usually, it's hard to do a good sequel like that. What are your thoughts?
Talk about Scorsese. I mean, Goodfellas. His movies are always good. They're just always about 45 minutes too long. It's like I've had enough. It's just he keeps hammering.
It's
and
brutal
hammering
when
and
it comes
hammering.
with 2 VHS tapes.
Yeah, and all of them did. Goodfellas
Titanic.
or what's the other one he did? Gangs of New York.
Oh,
Also really
another
long.
Fucking fantastic movie.
Trying to think the others.
Well, let's just stop right there, and you tell me what you didn't like about Goodfellas. Because if you can come up with something other than Ray Liotta sucks, I got nothing. I mean, it was. I'm sorry, Ray, if you're out there.
Kevin Bacon wasn't in it.
I mean, it was just fucking fantastic movie. It was.
It's not bad. I mean, for me, it's overlong. It's kind of like let's take Godfather and make it bloodier.
And much better acting.
Yeah, because that
Can't
was
go wrong with Joe Pesci, man.
Oh God, and De
Yeah.
Niro, come on!
But it was so typecast, like you knew what you were getting.
I know
Right.
they were so good at it.
You knew what you were getting.
And you go back to like Godfather, when Robert Duvall still couldn't act.
Yeah, and he was like the white guy in the mafia.
Yeah. You should watch him in True Grit, the first one.
Yeah.
He's so bad.
All right, so those are my two. The Thing and Goodfellas. I've got some better ones on my list, but I just wanted to get those out there. Sandy, I think it's on you. Dane just went off the reservation with the Psychopath movie.
Well,
go ahead, go off the reservation.
That wasn't too far off when we had.
I think Thrashing was as far off as it goes.
Yeah, that's left field.
So give us one that's surprises.
L.A. Confidential.
Okay, great.
Haven't
movie.
seen it.
Great movie.
What?
Yeah, who's in it?
Russell Crowe
All right.
Kim Basinger.
and Kim Basinger.
She was.
She
And
looked really good.
Guy Pearce,
All right.
You're right. Great movie. I wouldn't have
Kevin
thought of it.
Spacey.
I wouldn't have thought of it, but great movie.
It's
I
amazing.
love Kevin Spacey as an actor.
It's like
As an actor.
no disqualification. It was
As an actor.
it was a film noir
Oh, I love that stuff.
kind of thing about L.A. crime in the 30s.
Well, in fact, if you've played the game L.A. Noir, it has that feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
The cars, the sets, the clothes, the
So
color.
when was that? So this in the 30s,
No, it was after World War II, so it would have been
50s.
40s, 50s.
Anyway, it's L.A. in the 50s, and they did the way they did the cinematography and the sets and everything, the costuming, everything. They really pulled it off. It's
Okay.
It's good. It's got that whole Bogart feel, that old detective movie, But
Yeah.
it was good.
Detective movie. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
And-
Get him, copper. See? Yeah.
Why Iota?
has
No, that's
just
a little-
enough.
that's a
You
little
just
too
went
much.
Stooges.
Yeah,
on
Three
us.
Stooges, yeah.
It has just enough violence.
Hey, that was around
to
that time,
kinda get you-
too. It has what?
It has just enough violence.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah, Russell Crowe was pretty badass in that.
All right.
I mean, and when he actually blows, it's like you just want to sit and enjoy watching him break shit up.
I liked watching Drexel break shit up
Yo,
in True Romance.
you must think it's white boy day.
Okay. Is it me again, or are we doing another Sandy?
Let's give Sandy two. I took two, and you still owe us one. So go, Sandy. Go.
I'm gonna have to look here. Hold on.
I got a great one.
Go ahead. I'll catch up.
Rob Reiner's The Jerk. with Steve Martin.
Oh yeah, great one. Just a great movie. It did. I'm gonna stop there and say. Eep. I didn't mean to. I was gonna stop you and somehow I went. Eep. Man with Two Brains. Better Steve Martin, Rob Reiner movie.
Okay.
Better movie. It's funnier.
Let me just
I
push
like
on with The Jerk.
I like The Jerk. I thought it was good. Wait.
I was born a poor black child.
Meh.
That's all I need.
That's pretty much it. Other than the quotes in that movie, there's a lot of great quotes.
So there's a tiny bit of downtime here and there because movies made at that time were that way. I thought that everything in it was super hilarious. Steve Martin was able to showcase a lot of his hilarity and skills and what he does.
Yeah, and at that time, he was the shit for comedy. That was his peak.
And don't forget Bernadette Peters.
I was going to say,
yeah,
she was perky.
Oh,
Perky.
I think that came out when I was a teenager and wasn't all that interested in it. And then got older. It's like, man, Bernadette Peters was rocking.
Yeah.
Oh man, and just the whole like all the comedy in that movie is just super hilarious. And
he doesn't like these cans.
She goes, "You see right there, I got your name tattooed on my ass." He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm right there in the J's." Or when they're in the pizza in the cup place.
Pizza in the cup.
This pizza in a cup place is way better than the old pizza in a cup place. They blew that guy out of business. That movie is hands down just tons of quotes, tons of hilarity. I can't get enough of it.
Okay, so I'm glad
he hates these cans.
I'm glad you did this because in fact, what we should have done is we should have had you do comedy.
Mm-hmm.
I would do drama, and Sandy could do like thrillers or something because we all ended up with mixed up lists.
Mm-hmm.
But you're pulling the comedy ones out, which are great because I skipped them completely on mine. My lists are just movies that I.
Yeah, and I'd have a hard time with thrillers because most of them I hate.
Well, I could do thrillers. You can do
including
dramas, I don't care.
The video for Thriller.
All right, so I skipped some movies that I really love. Like I'll just throw it. Good Will Hunting, great movie. Didn't put it on my list. But as a movie, I really liked it. So I'm gonna just go right to some of the meat of my list, and I'm gonna go with Gladiator. See how I segued Russell Crowe right into that?
Yeah.
So, fucking fantastic as far as action, war, slaughter, history, love, anger, violence, tigers, bloodshed,
All right.
armor.
And it's a long movie without seeming long.
Fantastic movie. 5 gold stars from Brian.
Damn.
Wow.
I'm out, man. I need more.
You're all out?
I'm all out. You're all out too, Sandy.
I'm going to take a break here pretty soon.
We can take a break. You want to take a break?
I'm just saying, you're in charge.
We'll be right back after this break. All right, everybody, welcome back. We just had an extensive break, poured some more booze, and we are ready to continue our list of movies that we enjoy and love and adore and love to torture people with.
Yeah, so I left off on Gladiator. You guys were conspicuously quiet on that, as if neither of you liked it.
I never watched it all. It's the same thing with Troy. Like,
oh my god!
Like I watched it
It's
halfway through, and I was
better
like, all
than
right,
Troy.
Well, yeah, but Brad Pitt with his 8-pack. How do you go wrong? And segue into Fight Club
On my list
yeah! as well. I love Fight Club, man.
If that's not in everybody's list, then
what are you doing with your life?
yeah, what have you done with your life?
I think sacrilege, but before Fight Club, I would pick, if we're going to go Brad Pitt movies, Snatch.
All right. Decent movie.
So I got to do it.
Entertaining.
I've had this discussion with Sandy. I know a lot of times because we have those drink too much movie conversations.
I want to join in on
I'm
those.
just gonna say, name a bad Brad Pitt movie.
Legends of the Fall.
I fucking loved it.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay, that one, and yeah,
Johnny Suede.
Babel.
Even though I own it.
Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Smith and 7 Years in Tibet. But other than that, name a bad Brad Pitt. The movies he takes.
Deadpool 2.
he was
Like a
perfect.
tiny little part.
No, he was great in that
But
movie.
the guy just he takes really good roles and he fucking nails them.
Ocean's 12.
I mean, for his role, I mean, he was great in it. Everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm just maybe I think he's dreamy, but I don't know.
You are not wrong, sir.
He makes fucking great movies. He just
Which
does.
reminds me, when you were talking about him, maybe it was last podcast or the one before. Wasn't his first movie Thelma and Louise?
No, I think Dane.
No, Johnny Suede is his
Johnny
first movie.
Suede was his first. Movie.
Even before Thelma and Louise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him in World War Z.
No, but just name him. I mean, like.
Meet Joe Black.
Burn After Reading. Great movie.
Good
Yeah, but that's Coen Brothers.
It's just he's
Snatch,
just
7,
he's
World
just
War
great.
Z, Legends of the Fall, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Benjamin Button. I didn't really care for, but it was a decent movie.
Okay, I don't think I ever saw it. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna back off because I might sound like a little too fanboy for Brad Pitt right now. He does have an 8-pack, but I don't want to sound like I'm like too much into him.
Oh, that's right. He was in 12 Monkeys.
He was fucking
Which wasn't
great in
bad.
it. He was great in it.
Oh, you were talking about this earlier. A River Runs Through It.
It's a fucking great movie.
I didn't care for him in The Big Short, but I think it's just because I didn't like the movie.
I thought it was great. I loved it.
It was a little too real. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, there went my 401k.
That movie was hard.
What about Killing Him Softly? Have you seen that one?
I
with Brad Pitt?
haven't even heard of it.
It was one of Gandolfini's last movies,
Oh,
and it was Brad Pitt was in that, and he was kind of a hitman, but kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but more like he was more edgy and not married.
but see, I felt like they made Mr. and Mrs. Smith just simply because they're like, oh, it's Brangelina, and we have to put them in a movie together.
He's in Cool World. That's a bad movie.
Okay, all right. But I want to say he did a good job.
But you're right. Most of them are pretty good.
And
He did Thelma and Louise the same year as Johnny Suede.
Right.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Yep.
All right, I'll put the phone down.
Yeah, we're not Googling or anything. This is all knowledge from our head.
Are you kidding? I'm IMDb all day long.
You know, take that, teacher. When you said I won't have a calculator on me at all times, guess what? I was telling my dad the other day, I'm like, you can just ask your phone a math question and it'll solve it for you.
Oh, yeah.
That's even better than having a calculator with you at all times.
All right, so I don't know who started. Was it Dane? Was it your turn?
Okay. I'm going to segue with Brad Pitt.
Bam, we are good at this. And
Are
we're
you
doing
ready for
just
this?
off the
You're not
cuff.
ready for this. And
Y'all ready for this?
it's the 6 steps of Kevin Bacon or whatever, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
Sleepers.
Fuck, we talked about this earlier.
That's why I threw it on the list. I forgot about that,
okay,
but
so
it was
you're-
Good
so
choice.
good.
Just a great movie, but I mean,
Dark.
dark. I can't. I just thinking about it makes me feel almost dirty.
Creepy, right? Like but in a real way.
And Jason Patrick? Is that
Jason
his?
Patrick and we were just talking
Brad
about
Pitt,
this. Brad
Kevin
Pitt,
Bacon,
Kevin Bacon, and
Minnie
Driver.
Minnie Driver.
yeah. Oh, and you know what did it for me is the guys that played the killers. The two that they were trying to get off did such a great job pulling off that, like, this is what kids who get fucked up in this system turn into. They pulled it off so well. I mean, and they ended up, they portrayed them as kind of as like these kids that you remember from the beginning of the movie, that when they were really innocent kids being tortured.
Right. So the first quarter of the movie is them in Hell's Kitchen in New York in the
Right.
70s.
Yeah.
They accidentally kill a guy with a hot dog cart.
Right.
They end up getting sent away to like a boys
Reformatory.
reformatory school and get severely abused by the people in charge.
Yeah, the guards when Kevin Bacon plays one of the guards. So they.
Creep factor.
I know it does.
Oh,
And
No.
then- so that movie progresses on, and it's the two of the kids. Brad Pitt is one of the kids. Jason Patrick is one of the other kids. Jason Patrick's grown up to be like a reporter, newspaper guy, and Brad Pitt's a prosecutor for the city. And the other two guys are just gangsters. They run this murder crew in Hell's Kitchen, and they spot Kevin Bacon in this like local bar one night, just eating dinner, and that whole scene where they sit down. You remember us, motherfucker? You
Oh
know?
man, that movie is
So
it's not super intense the whole movie.
Yeah, it's just
but
well
it's just
played.
It was so well written. It almost feels like it almost felt so like real. Like it wasn't a movie. You felt every emotion in it.
And they did the whole scene with the football game with the where it's just great. Anyway, so those two guys, the way they portrayed them after the fact as killers, and they showed him at the end. It was like, Johnny ends up he was found dead in a hotel room. Nobody had, his body laid undiscovered for 5 weeks or what. It was just.
Oh, I need to watch that again.
A visceral, emotional, dark, gritty, make you feel dirty,
just like The Ladies' Man.
Right? But
that's why it's on the same list for me.
And
but just a fucking fantastic movie.
And the book is good too.
I've heard that,
and that's a true story, right? I mean, that's the guy's memoir or whatever.
I don't know if
it doesn't
true.
seem that far off from what could be. Sadly,
I can't remember if it was true.
Anyway,
yeah. So it's just great movie, man. Yeah. I didn't put it on my list. I should have. We actually talked about it this afternoon. So.
Yeah, but that's one of them where you look at it and go, yeah. I mean, when I think about favorite movies, it's ones that I'll put on and watch again. I mean,
yeah, you don't want to feel Sleepers a second time.
It's like that.
I've watched it more than once.
I mean, same thing goes with Schindler's List, which is fantastic, but I can't watch it.
I will never watch it. I can't do those kind of movies.
I watched it the first time, and then 20 years later, I watched it again this year, and knowing when all the bad parts were already coming, then it was like, well, just sit back and kind of enjoy it at how well made it was. But yeah, Sleepers is like that. You know what's going to happen.
I was just going for movies that either made me feel something that I remembered my whole life or something that I watch all the time.
Yeah.
So I was kind of, and then, so for me, this top 10 list is just insane because I love comedies. I love cinematography. I love off the path kind of stories. It's hard to nail it down to one genre.
Even if I told you you've got comedy, that's your genre. Give me your top 10. It's hard. So I just for mine, I just kind of went with, hey, I really fucking love this movie, so I'm gonna pick this one.
And even if it's that, then it's even within genres, you're looking at, well, what is it about the movie that you're looking at? This weekend I watched Thin Red Line.
Yeah, great movie.
I watched it before and I kind of hated it. And other Terrence Malick movies, I can't
stop doing that.
Stand.
Doing what, Dan?
His storytelling seems to be, kind of meanders. Thanks.
No, man, I get you. I don't look at. I saw that movie and I thought it was a great movie. I didn't think about the director. I don't.
Well, that's what interested me more than I look at directors.
He was in
and
Hollywood
writers.
under Roger Ebert for a while, so he really looks at him a lot different.
But I'll say that, guy that used to date my daughter, Arturo, he's a cinematographer now. And then some of the stuff, even, I've talked with Ryan about movies. And
Ryan Smith from the Duendes?
Yes, that Ryan Smith. And their lens on movies is more about cinematography and what it looks like. And I start looking at things like that. So even on Thin Red Line, just watching how beautiful it is. Story aside, same thing goes for Revenant, which is gorgeous.
God, it's gorgeous.
And the part with the bear attack, I can't even breathe when I was in the theater. It was horrible.
I know. I felt that same feeling with the beginning of Saving Private Ryan. I realized I didn't breathe for the first 4 minutes of that movie. I was.
How's that go?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just the color of it.
Yeah.
It's like...
oh, yeah.
Where you feel like it's holy shit, what? How? Why did they do this to me?
What you got next on your list, Sandy?
Well, no, so not to interrupt, but just speaking of movies, we're talking about all these great movies that we like, but I think in enjoying movies, there's a reason. For Sandy, I think a lot of it is how it's made. He's sitting there tearing apart in his head. How did they film this? What was the reasoning? What was the vibe behind it? For me, I'm just a pure entertainment guy. I just want to sit there and be like, holy shit, that movie just made me feel something. Or holy shit, I got a boner from that. Or just whatever that feeling is. I'm a feeler guy. I don't know, maybe we all some people are like, oh, it's the story, or some people are, it's
I'm
the
a
visual.
I'm a big
It's-
mix up of all of it. I think I tend to, and it depends on the day. I focus on one thing or the other.
I think for me, it depends on the question. If you say, what do I think the best movie is? That's a different question than which one is my favorite.
All right, so that's an interesting point. Let's stop here and going to your list. I think I know what yours is, Dane. What is your best movie? Like, if you were to say the best movie I can think of is
Schindler's List. It's not, but you can't, it doesn't fit favorite.
no, I totally get that.
It's horrible. The story is horrific.
And that's a Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
That would be your that's the best movie I've ever seen.
Do one better. I mean, it's just mastercraft movie.
Okay, I've never seen it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't watch it because, like I said, I'm a feel guy, and that just
And hell, it's black and white.
I couldn't do it. Ugh. Just thinking about it makes me. Ugh. I've actually been to the Dachau, and I couldn't. You? Do you have one?
Welcome to the Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
That's on my top 10, but that's not what I was going to say.
Yeah, but that's another Michael Bay movie, though, right?
It is. It's one that follows the formula. It's one that has some of the worst acting, but best acting in it, between Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery.
The whole Nicolas Cage thing.
And it is entertaining, and cinematically, it's pretty decent.
And fucking Ed Harris.
And Ed Harris is in it.
Yeah.
That and
and who does the guy with the mustache? I can't remember his name. He's in a lot of stuff, including Deuce Bigelow.
Oh my God. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
I said it's thin, not small. So like The Rock is on my list of top 10, and that's because for me it's entertainment factor. It's kooky and fun, and it's Michael Bay, so you kind of know what you're getting, and there's lots of action.
The problem with Michael Bay is if he has too much money.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And then he doesn't know when to turn it off, and it's too much. And CGI has become cheap, so now Transformers is unwatchable.
Okay, go.
Have you heard that song from Team America where he keeps talking about how I love you more than Michael Bay missed the mark of Pearl Harbor? Have you heard that song?
No.
He's like, Pearl Harbor sucked just a little bit more than I miss you.
All right, so I know.
Let me answer your question though. As far as movies go,
please.
you already said it. Saving Private Ryan. I refuse to watch that movie not at full quality. It deserves every bit of high def that's put into it. Cinematically, it's gut wrenching. The whole movie, it's
gut wrenching, right?
Super interesting story. Great actors in it. You got Vin Diesel, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks is another one of those guys that
Giovanni Ribisi.
he just doesn't make bad movies. I mean, again, think of a bad Tom Hanks movie.
I saw a movie with him that surprised me that I liked. Was called Bridge of Spies. If you ever
Great
get a
movie,
chance,
fantastic movie.
Bridge of Spies was surprisingly really good.
And
I just watched The Post with him.
You've Got Mail's not the best Tom Hanks.
Well, he had this little where I'm going to be Meg Ryan movie thing, but I mean, can we give the guy a break?
Philadelphia.
Fucking great movie.
All right.
All right,
So
so
Saving Private Ryan, must watch, always on my list of wow factor as far as a movie goes. 5 stars all the way.
All right, cool. I would say that for me is.
By the way, Bridge of Spies, also directed by Spielberg.
How was it?
Yeah, he's got. I mean, he doesn't do many bad ones.
I had
It
never
was great. I loved it.
never heard of that story, and I was intrigued the whole time. Like, okay.
No, it was good. So mine's pretty simple.
Oh, you got your list back.
I did. I found it. It's in
Yeah,
it's
but
in my
before
not that I lost my list on my
but
phone. or
before we
something.
go there, I mean, you can go full circle to the opener of Ballad of
Buster Scruggs.
Buster Scruggs
Sure.
because Bridge of Spies was written by Joel and Ethan Coen.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh no shit! That's a Coen Brothers movie.
No,
They just wrote it.
they wrote it
Okay.
according to IMDb.
All right, so mine.
I didn't know that.
Mine, best movie. I'm gonna
Great
go.
info.
This is gonna be weird for me because it's not my favorite movie. Again.
Step up.
Shawshank.
No, that's got to be on somebody's list.
It's on my list.
This is
That's
great.
Andy Dufresne.
Yeah, and obviously because God was in it, Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah.
And fucking Tim Robbins was just.
I didn't mention because it seemed obvious.
I just it's on my list. We're talking
It's
about.
hard because there are so many people agree on top 10.
Hey, that's one of it. I think if you guys ask me best movie, I would say that movie was pretty much up there. Which is weird because the story I read the story when I was a kid, the Stephen King book, and it's a short story in one of his compilations. And
Pop quiz. What was the story called?
Rita Hayworth in the Shawshank Redemption.
Winner.
Yeah.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
No, but the story was like just meh. You know, it was 7 meh.
Yeah.
Sandy.
Huh.
the adaptation they did with Tim Robbins was just amazing. That's fucking great. I'm just gonna go through a few of these I have here because we don't have a whole lot of time left, but just some of the ones on my list. Most of these fall together.
Okay.
Usual Suspects.
All right. Yeah.
Guys that are saucy.
That one, the first time I think I liked it, and then over time it's like it's predictable or it's just doesn't have the legs.
I'll just say 3 things. Kevin Spacey,
It's great,
Benicio del Toro.
Man,
great.
Kevin Spacey shows up a lot.
He's a fucking great actor. I mean,
As
Benicio
an
del Toro-
actor. He's not a great person. He's a great actor. Moving on.
Good. I won't even go to the third one then on that.
I'm sorry to interrupt that.
Usual Suspects, and then next one on my list was Reservoir Dogs.
Oh God, when what's his face cuts off the ear?
Yeah.
Oh, that was brutal. I was not expecting that. I had never seen it. People told me, "Yeah, you should watch it," but nobody ever told me what happened in the
Stuck
movie.
in the middle with you.
It is
Oh,
my
man.
least favorite.
And
Yeah, I
Jonesy's
loved
it.
jukebox is featured in there.
It was.
Oh man,
Loved it.
That scene is such an intense scene.
No,
And,
it wasn't Jones's Juice Box. It was K. Billy's Sound of the 70s.
Really, because
Yeah.
in my head it was Josie's jukebox.
No, it
I know it
was-
was probably based off.
It
of
was,
that.
and the guy who was doing K. Billy's Sounds of the 70s was actually comedian Stephen Wright.
Really.
Yeah. It was the guy. I know that's a totally odd fact to know, but
That's
for whatever
great
reason I know.
fact.
So there's a couple more on that same list. Pulp Fiction, obviously.
You just had to say Tarantino movies.
Oh yeah, pretty much. So here's another one that's got a lot of cred, and the actors were just phenomenal. Maybe I'm one of the only ones who really liked it. Heat.
Another
De Niro,
another Michael Mann movie.
De Niro,
Val Kilmer.
and
Yeah.
Michael Madsen. Just an awesome movie. I loved it.
I'm kind of on the fence on that one.
Okay, so I've only got two left on my list that I want to really talk about. So
I know your big one.
do you?
You talk about it all the
Was
time.
it Michael? Was it Michael Madsen in Heat?
Yeah, that's what I said, Michael Madsen.
All right, what else you got on that list, man?
All right, so you know what my favorite one is, so I'm gonna skip that one. And I'm gonna bring up one that's kind of odd, but everybody loves it. If you don't love it, you've been in a show. The Matrix, the first
Okay,
one.
yes, I remember. Oh God,
We need to back up. It's not Michael Madsen.
Tom Sizemore.
Yes.
it's the Tom Sizemore, Michael Madsen conundrum.
I'm going. Wait,
I
no.
swear
no.
to God, they're the same guy. They just wear a different suit and they change names. Same actor though. But The Matrix.
The Matrix was a good movie.
That's fucking
I
fantastic.
remember.
Again.
I don't like it now, but I loved it at the time.
I could watch it 100 times.
Yeah, I
watched it
still
so
like
long.
it.
I need to
I mean,
watch it
again, it's unexpected.
Yeah, it's
Which
just-
for me, that's a lot of the movies. I remember, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Before I walked into the theater and didn't know anything about it, walked out going, holy shit, what was that? It's amazing. And then it became, franchise and less cool. But
God, that Crystal Skull one was horrible.
it was bad. It was really bad.
But I love the Sean Connery one, The Last Crusade.
yeah, that was good.
Fucking love Sean Connery in movies, man.
I agree with you. Sean Connery's the
he
man.
makes every movie awesome.
I didn't like that movie.
Entrapment, he's good in that.
Welcome to the Rock.
Welcome to the Rock.
You gotta put the accent on there. That was totally not Scottish. What I just
No,
did
that
there.
wasn't. That was Cockney
Yeah, I
something.
don't know what that was. That was my snatch.
Losers don't go home and fuck the prom queen.
No. Losers. Losers.
Oh, you
whine
did
about
your
the
best.
best. Winners go home.
That's what
Anyway.
it was.
Yeah, and then Nicolas Cage
She
goes,
was the prom queen.
God damn it, Nick! Shut up. If you want to see the most amazing Nicolas Cage movie you've ever seen, and I almost guarantee you haven't seen it,
Con Air.
Army of One.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it.
He is off his goddamn rocker,
I mean, it's so.
and I love it.
Speaking of crazy fucking Nicolas Cage movies, what's the movie where he goes to Vegas and drinks himself?
Leaving Las Vegas.
My God.
With Elizabeth Shue.
Great movie.
That movie, that was a train wreck movie.
Depressing, but
I couldn't stop watching it because I was like,
Yeah.
holy
Yeah.
fuck.
Did you ever watch it twice?
No.
There you go.
I know. Yeah, I've only seen it once.
I've only
Right.
seen it once.
Wow. That was an impact movie.
Yeah, that was. I was in a real dark place at the time, and I think it took me darker and more drinky,
Did you say drinky?
more
More
drinky. Like,
All right, so I'll give you my last one because everybody knows it already, but and then you guys can give me yours. I think we got to cut out pretty soon, right?
yeah.
Mine is Braveheart.
Freedom!
I just fucking loved it. Everything about it. I know it was formula, and obviously,
Was it?
It's a history movie, so it's a true story. But
Ish.
it just, I love
Great film.
I love the actors. I love
Mm-hmm.
the all the role guys who ended up playing that same role in 100 movies afterwards.
Yeah.
I love the comedy that they injected in there. Yeah, Mel Gibson pulled off the role perfectly. It was dark and cold. It felt like you were in Scotland when you were watching the movie. They killed this woman, and the guy went off for 15 fucking years.
Did you ever watch the making of the stuff that comes after on the DVDs?
No.
I did. I watched him like 2 months ago when I was on the
big
couch.
into that. He's
Oh,
into
yeah.
the post.
Because
Yeah.
part of that on Braveheart was Mel Gibson fucking with the time and the frame rate. Every time Catherine McCormick is on the screen, he slows the film down. So time stops every time she's on the screen, and you feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're all going, man, she looks awesome. And yeah, he's slowing it down. And the part where he comes back when she's on after she got killed.
When he's slotting through the... you can
Yeah,
see-
and he talks about that. They slowed the frame rate down and slowed it down and slowed it down until he swings his, looks like nunchucks, but whatever it was.
I think it's nunchuckas.
Yes, that. We're from California, man.
I think it was a fucking log.
All right,
He hit him with a
we're running
log.
low on time. Sandy, give me a couple more movies.
Apollo 13.
Apollo 13,
Oh, good pull.
another
Very
Tom
good
Hanks.
movie.
I was going to say it, but I know you had mentioned it the other day, so I didn't put it on mine.
Tom Hanks and Gary Sinise,
I
right?
did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and
If
Tim
you
Robbins.
ever get a chance,
And
to
Kevin
watch-
Bacon.
And Tim Robbins as well, right?
You ever get a chance to watch Gary Sinise
Yeah.
and the Lieutenant Dan
Wasn't-
band?
Yeah, we almost played with them a couple last summer.
That's awesome. I would have taken that in
We
a
were going to
heartbeat.
play with them at Pepperdine last year.
Yeah, they played for me at Fort Lewis when I was there.
Yeah.
What else you got?
City of God.
Fucking great movie. That's the Brazil one with the poor kids and the...
Yeah, it's all subtitled.
Yeah, great movie. I don't know if I'd put it in my top 10, but it was good.
It's an amazing movie. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
It's worth watching.
It's on the long list of things I'm supposed to be watching at some point.
Yeah, it is
I'm
worth it.
sure I'll get around to it someday.
That's another one where it comes up it was on Netflix or Amazon or
Any-
something.
Any honorable mentions?
Oh, God. Nobody mentioned Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted
That's
to put it
for
on my
a
list,
reason.
but I know...
All 12
I
fucking
also
hours.
didn't.
of it.
I also
wanted
didn't put
to,
any
but-
Star Wars
But
on mine.
one of the three people in this room has no taste in movies and has never watched Lord of the Rings, so I didn't want to put it on there on the list.
It's your list, dude. Don't try to do what I think.
I
would be
don't
the
want to
best.
say who that one person is out of the
It's
three of us.
it's
It's
worth
me.
it. It's worth a watch. I would
All right,
avoid
all right.
The Hobbit. It's shit.
Oh yeah, they're
All right.
fantastic movies too.
I'll
They're
watch
great.
them.
They really were good.
I'll watch them. I'll get back with you.
Just buy into the suspension of disbelief, hobbits and fucking wizards and dragons and fucking orcs and
Have you
Fall
read it?
Yeah, I read The Hobbit.
But not Lord of the
Whatever.
Rings.
No.
Okay, well then you won't be
I
pissed
don't.
off.
I don't know how to read. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna give you a couple of my tops since we're so low on time. Speaking of Apollo 13, The Martian.
Awesome movie.
Great
and
movie.
book is even better.
The book, yes and no. There was parts of the book I like better than the movies. Parts of the movie I like better than the book.
Well, yeah, because he had to shorten it up. But the book
Sure.
was amazing considering that was Weir's first book. Have you read that story, Brian?
mm-mm.
So he wrote the book. He was doing it like a blog, and people were asking, could they get it as an ebook? And the only way he could do that was put it on Amazon. The lowest price he could charge was $1, so that's what he did. And then somebody made a movie out of it.
Really?
Andy Weir's first book.
Insane,
the
right?
movie was fantastic. Matt Damon was great in that. So
Matt Damon.
you actually did that really well, too.
Thanks, man. I've been practicing. Okay, I'm gonna go with and this is a tough one to explain, but I think anybody who's into cinematography a lot will really understand why I'm choosing it. Mad Max Fury Road was hands down one of the best movies, cinematically speaking, I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was
And it was
tense.
horribly acted. But what kind of acting do you need to know? There's fighting, they need gas, beautiful scenery.
And begs the question, who the fuck cares about Tom Hardy?
Right, I don't.
I don't.
Could have done without him.
2 words.
Would have been fine.
Anybody could have done that. Anyone.
2 words. Charlize Theron.
Well, yeah.
With oil and grease on her head.
Just
Good Lord.
Still, though, that one scene where she goes out when she finds out that their home is gone, and she goes out on the dune and starts crying. It's like, man.
All right, quick synopsis
heart-wrenching.
of the story. They drive through the desert.
being chased
And
by
the story.
thousands of psychopaths
In the idea that there's water
innovative
somewhere.
weapons.
Did you go back and watch the old ones though?
I have. I've watched all of the old ones. I hate them.
They're shit.
The idea is cool. And I think, like, he couldn't, George, what's his name? George Miller. He could not convey his idea good enough. And I don't know if that was because,
Well, they were.
So
the
the
first
dude-
one was really low budget.
Oh, it's awful. Horrible to
What I
watch.
didn't get about those is how, I mean, for a guy who's going to cross over to be such a star that he is now, what was it about Mel Gibson in those first 2 movies that,
he was a heartthrob with that mullet. Holy.
I mean, it was a sexy looking guy, but his acting was just, I mean, it was Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I
bad.
love that they had the bad guy from the second one in Weird
Right,
Science,
right.
which I would like to give honorable mention to Weird Science
That's great.
because not only, I mean, the amount of actors in that. Robert Russler from Thrashin' is in that. He's Robert Downey Jr.'s side guy.
Is okay, Max.
Yeah,
And the villain from Fury Road was the same one from the original.
exactly,
Right,
but
right.
not playing the same character.
Right, same
which is also
actor.
cool. Mortem Joe was a great character. Charlize Theron was amazing. Just beautiful scenery. It took them like a year and a half, 2 years to make the movie, which was driving everyone insane.
No, it was tense.
Then I
it was
bought
tense from start
Then I
to
bought the
finish.
black and chrome edition of it. Watched it in black and white, just as nice and beautiful.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't even heard of that one.
Oh yeah, I've got it. If you want to watch it.
Cool.
And it's the same. You know, it's one of those things where you're like, well, I saw how beautiful the color was, and I love black and white photography. So like, I enjoyed the black and white movie part as well. Just that one for me is just top notch. I can watch it anytime. You can turn your mind off. You don't have to think about anything in that movie.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, oh, they're driving. Oh, they're fighting. Oh, they're driving. Oh, look, there's a scene where nothing's happening.
All right, so let's go back to the signing off. I know we got to get going here. Everybody has one. Doesn't matter who you are, you all have one. A movie that you will always stop. You're flipping through the channels on your remote control. You land on a movie. You're going to watch it every fucking time. What is it?
Serenity.
Gone in 60 seconds. The one with Nicolas Cage.
No, those are great. They're both fantastic. Mine is weird. Big Trouble in Little China. I just love that movie. I can't help it. Kurt Russell's awesome in it.
Let's be
Lopan
bad
and-
guys.
Oh man.
But those are mine. So this was a great one.
Cool.
I think we would have, like, if we could have done this before. Maybe we do this again and we talk about food a little bit too. I don't know.
Right. So, hey,
snacks.
I appreciate everybody listening and suffering through all of that movie trivia knowledge. I had a great time. If we won't do this too often, but we would like to do it again with you, Sandy.
Cool.
Because I think it's tough for a lot of people who aren't really big film buffs to kind of suffer through this. And the rum helps. Brian,
Yeah.
we appreciate you coming out, man, filling in.
I'm happy to be here, man.
We miss Mr. Matt Wadley.
I wish he was here so I could give him a little hug, his little scruffy face, and give him a little. I love you,
Sandy,
Matt.
I give you 3 mehs.
Awesome.
And we appreciate everybody listening. Make sure that you follow us on iTunes, like, subscribe, share everything you can. Tell everyone about us so we can keep doing this. We appreciate and love you all. Thank you, everybody. See you next
Oh, wait a
time.
minute. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Happy
Yeah, if you're into that
Thanksgiving.
kind of thing. And I'd like to also point out, don't forget, small businesses, shop at them on Black Friday. Small
Yes.
businesses in your town locally, like your local record store, etc.
Yeah, and there's a 6 Feet Over show on Friday.
Oh yes. Follow 6 Feet Over. And all right, thanks again for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time on the Desert Underground Podcast. Good night, Mr. Pocket.